rest very well because there are many things to see and do and watch. Okay. Well, yesterday, for example, I say I was going to bed early, and then I ended up watching a movie on Netflix, which was quite interesting. I think one of these days I'm going to use the movie in one of my classes because of the topic that it talks about. It was interesting. I mean, I didn't like the end of the movie, but it was interesting to observe the concept of the film. Probably you have seen this movie. I think the name is in English is something like Time Out or Out of Time or something like that. And it's about it's about people who live with a clock in their hands. So they pay everything with time. Yes, they can live forever, but they don't have time. So they have to work, and they are paid with time for living. So if they don't have time, they die. Yeah, it's like a futuristic movie. And I think the concept is interesting because they give the value to the time of living as sometimes we give the value to money. We do many crazy things because of money. Yes. And I was looking at the movie and I was thinking, well, many people would criticize these guys because they do this and they do that and they do this and that because of time. But that's exactly the same thing we do because of money. No? So that's exactly the point that I would like to use to start a discussion and to practice a little bit of English. But it's not going to be, unfortunately, in this class, because in this class, our main topic right now at this moment is the modal verbs of deduction, assumptions, and homes. Yeah, what we have to check about homes. So let's begin with this section. Yesterday, I told you we check this listening, and then we say match 1 to 4 with meanings A to C. 2 have the same meaning. According to what we studied yesterday, yes, you have here 4 sentences. I would like you to tell me what's the meaning of these modals. Well, the meanings are here. They are not like extensively explained, but I have already explained this to you. So tell me what's going on there. It must be a holiday home. What does it mean?
It's a deduction. It's
yeah, that might be. Sorry, that must be letter B. I'm sure it's a holiday home because of the must. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be a holiday home.
It's letter A.
Okay. It's letter A. I think it's a holiday home, but I'm not sure. It could be a holiday home. Letter A again. But remember, the difference between might and could is that could expresses less probability. Yes, less probability. And finally, it can't be a holiday home. Letter C. I'm sure it's not a holiday home. I'm sure this is the opposite logical deduction, but the opposite of must. Yes, okay. They tell you here, now go to grammar focus, In the grammar focus, they are going to explain what we checked yesterday in a very simple, easy way. But they tell you that, for example, there are other expressions like I'm sure, that means must, yes, or that it's possible, that means may, might, could, or that when you say it's possible that it isn't, it is may or might not. Lo que les decía, el could no se usa en negativo. en esta función, because it means something different. It can't be called in that house. So this is a deduction. I'm sure it isn't. Yes, I'm sure it isn't. Entonces este sure siempre se va a asociar a must o se va a asociar a can't. Depende de lo que diga después. Acuérdense que luego les ponen transforma esto, ¿no? Entonces si hay que transformar tal o cual cosa, ajá, hay que recordar que sure tiene que ver con can't y con must. Y que possible, probable y likely, hay una expresión que también está por ahí que no viene aquí, pero si ustedes ven algo así como likely, esto quiere decir probable. Y probable, entonces para transformarlo, para cambiarlo, se va a usar con may, might, could. The opposite of likely is unlikely. Ow. Unlikely. This is the opposite of likely and unlikely. En realidad, likely y unlikely significa probable. Probable. Y probable, pues es may, might, could. Okay, just for you to remember, in case you have to make some transformations, I am going to ask you to do the following part. It says modals of deduction. Yes, match the deductions 1 to 8 with the best sentences A to H. Algunos de ustedes ya lo tienen hecho porque ya tomaron el curso. Con toda honestidad, dígame quién ya tiene hecho esto, el A y el B.
Yo.
Póngame, give me a sign there, ¿no? Ok. Claudia. Aparte de Claudia, ¿alguien más? Okay. So, Julie also has this part. And Claudia, Julia and Claudia. Okay. So, we are going to do something. Julie and Claudia are going to work together. Yes, you are going to do something together in a minute. The rest of you complete the exercise as fast as you can. Yes, as fast as you can. And Julia and Claudia are going to a room. I'm going to take them to a room and you're going to do something together.
What page is it, teacher?
I'm going to check. Wait. It is at the end of the book, Unit 7, page 145. Exercise A and B. Julie and Claudia, please access the room. Bien, 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 bien. Bien, bien, bien. No no les movieron nada, ¿verdad? Ok. Perdón, es que mi hijo agarró mi computadora. Ya lo corrí, pero no les movió nada, ¿verdad? Ok. Okay, my friends. So now we have to check the answers if you have finished. Have you? Let me bring back to Claudia and Julie, which are. Okay. So here you are. This is modals of deduction. Modals of deductions. You have matched the deductions 1 to 4 with the best sentences. So number 1, that man must be a doctor. That's a yes.
Con orgullo.
Then what about number 2? That man might be a doctor.
Letter C.
Letter C.
Yes, letter C. Number 3, that man might not be a doctor.
Letter H.
Letter H. That man can't be a doctor.
Letter A. Letter A.
Yes, number 5, they must be eating dinner now.
Letter D.
Letter D as in dentist, yes. Number 6, they could well be eating dinner now. Letter G. Yes, the next one is they could well be eating dinner now. Number 6, they may not be eating dinner now.
Letter E.
Letter E, they can't be eating dinner now. Letter P. Okay, letter B. Complete the sentences using an appropriate model of deduction. Sometimes more than one model is possible. In this case, I'm going to show you the suggested answers, but it doesn't mean that they are the only answers. It's possible that you have something different. So if you have something different and you want me to check, let me know. There we go. Do you have any question?
One moment, please.
This is the type of, sentences that I'm telling you that you can have in the exam, for example, in evaluation. They tell you rephrase, and if you notice, it says here, it's impossible that she's in the office. So this impossible translates into can't. She can't be in the office. When it says there, I'm sure, this sure is going to be modified and you have to use must. You must be right. It's possible. This it's possible translates into could or might or may. So this is the kind of sentences I'm telling you. You can have something like this in the exam. They can say, rewrite the sentences using modals. So observe the expressions. Sure, I'm sure is going to give you must, or is going to give you can't. For example, I'm sure he isn't. That's going to give you can't. It's impossible. It's going to give you can't. Now, whatever question you have, let me know. Can I close this window?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher.
Very good. So this is modals of deduction. We are going to have more practice on this, don't worry. But right now I have to go back to this part because I'm planning to do some other things here, some speaking and things. So in this page, we have page 80 in the student's book, we have listen and tick the sentences where you hear the final T or D. Practice saying them. I'm going to play this audio very quickly, and then I will explain something about pronunciation here. But it's very quickly. So let's begin.
Teacher,
Teacher, we can hear you.
Track 2.41.
Can you listen now?
1.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
can't get much sun.
2.
You could be right.
3.
She must earn a lot of money.
4.
It might be very expensive.
5.
You must enjoy living here.
Listen again. Remember, the exercise is, can you listen the T sound? Can you listen the T sound? That's the purpose of the exercise.
Track 2.41. 1,
It can't get much sun.
2,
You could be right.
3,
She must earn a lot of money.
4,
It might be very expensive.
5,
You must enjoy living here.
Okay, what about number 1? Did you listen to the T sound there?
No.
No.
Did you listen to the D sound in number 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I have already the person I'm going to call him later. So she must earn a lot of money. Did you listen to the T?
Yes.
Did you listen to it might be very expensive? Did you listen to the T?
No. Yes. Yes.
And you must enjoy living here. Did you listen to the T?
Yes. Yes.
So what can you deduce from this? Recuerden que este libro es así como, pues deduce la regla, ¿no? ¿Será posible deducir algo de aquí?
I think no.
It's a bit complex, yes? It's a rule, pero no es una regla de los modals. It's a rule about pronunciation. Yes, they say that when the T, well, I cannot put the phonetics here. Well, yes, probably yes. When the T or the D sound that's the rule. When the T or the D consonants are in the middle of other two consonants, we normally omit the sound. So if you notice, when you have there can't get, the T sound disappears. We say can't get. And when you have this word like must earn, the next you have a letter S, that is the ST, but then you have a vowel, which is E. So you say she must earn. Este sonido aquí sí se pronuncia must earn, pero se liga con la vocal must earn. Solo cuando están en medio de dos sonidos consonantes se elimina. It might be. Así decimos might be. Decimos, por ejemplo, could be. Ni siquiera llego o sea, la L no se pronuncia, pero no digo could be, digo could be. You could be right. You could be right. Esto es una regla de fonética, pero se las enseñan aquí porque con modals como can't y como must se va a usar mucho. It's for pronunciation. Okay? So when the T or the D sound is trapped in the middle of two consonants, whatever happens, you don't pronounce the T or the D sound. Let me try to remember. Let me try to remember where this happened in a word. Because in this case, we are looking at the T or D sound trapped between two words, but that's also valid when the T or the D sound are in the middle of a word. When we say, for example, no, not it's 10th, it's 10th. I cannot remember. I can only remember examples, for example, with the word and. That also happens when you say, for example, this Mike and me. We don't say Mike and, we simply say Mike and me. Mike and me. Yeah, Mike and me went to the party last Saturday. For example, this one. Pero ahí está una vocal, entonces ahí sí es stood still. Pero si le pongo stand, ahí ya pasó. She stands. Ahí ya pasó lo que yo estaba buscando. She stands by her rights. No digo stands, digo she stands. She stands by her rights all the time. Y aquí, por ejemplo, también dije rights, her rights. No digo la T. Si se fijan, no dije right, dije rights. She stands by her rights all the time. Entonces, cuando una T sucede entre una consonante y otra consonante, o cuando una D sucede entre una consonante y otra consonante, no se pronuncian. Esa es como la reglita de fonética que les están explicando aquí, pero a veces pasa en una palabra y a veces pasa en medio de dos. This is for you to remember. No creo que vengan del examen, pero sí les ayuda en pronunciación. I'm going to raise my notes, can I?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Look at the following exercise. This is now about vocabulary related to buildings. You had some homework yesterday to do. We are going to check the homework in a couple of minutes. But first of all, let's check what we have here in vocabulary about buildings. It says vocabulary buildings. I am moving house, or I am moving my house next Friday. So here is my new address. What would you select? I am moving house, or I am moving my house?
Moving house.
I am moving house. We don't say moving my house because that means that I can carry my house and take it with me. Yes, so I don't think we can carry our houses and take them with us. In the US, however, there are some houses that are movable. They are actually movable. So a truck collects the house and takes the house somewhere else. Yes, and then in that case, that you could say moving my house. But in this case, if you're moving to another house, you say I'm moving house next Friday. So here's my new address, flat, I'm renting or I am buying it for 6 months. What would you select?
I'm renting.
Renting.
I am renting, yes, because it says for 6 months. We don't buy houses for 6 months. Yes, we rent them for 6 months. And if I like it, I'll stay longer. It's on the 4th floor. Some people also have the question between the level and floor. Is it possible to talk about levels? Yes, but levels refer to things that are underground. Yes, if you go to a parking lot, you go down to level 1, level 2, level 3, but you go down. When you go up, you talk about floors. So it's on the 4th floor of a modern house or block of flats.
Block of flats.
It's a flat, they say, no? That this person is renting a flat, so it should be a block of flats. It's like edificio de departamentos. Yeah, last but not least, what's the meaning of that, Brian?
Por último, pero no menos importante. Bueno, pero me refería a que si entraba dentro de su ejemplo del anterior que estaba diciendo respecto a las heces y todo eso.
Well, okay, I don't know. I don't know in which part you wanted to say last but not least, but yes, that's something you can use, a fixed phrase, to say por último, pero no menos importante. That's a fixed phrase you can use. I don't know exactly where you wanted to use it or what you wanted me to use it, but yes, it's correct to say last but not least. Now, continuing with this part, level, the 4th floor, a block of flats, and it's got views or sights of the sea. And it's got views, okay? It's got views of the seas. Now, I want you to understand the difference between the view and the sight. Two words that have like a similar translation into Spanish, but in English, they have a difference. You use sights when you refer to what you can see, only what you can see. Yes, but you don't refer to the quality of it. You're just describing what you can see, not the quality. When you want to say that the quality is good or is bad, but essentially when it is good, you talk about views. So for example, if you talk about your flat and you say that in the window from your flat, you have some sights of the city, what you are saying is actually like, I can see the city. I can see the city. That's it. But if what you want to say is that the view has a very good quality, then you say that you have a view. Yes. I don't know how many of you live in a flat, or particularly if you live in a flat, let's say near the area of Santa Fe in Mexico City. If you live in a flat near the area of Santa Fe in Mexico City, you have sometimes wonderful views of the mountains. Wonderful views of the mountains. And in some cases, you have amazing views of the city. Pero ahí sí es amazing views porque estoy hablando de la calidad, amazing. Wonderful, porque estoy hablando de la calidad, wonderful views of the mountains. I remember long time ago, I used to work in Santa Fe teaching some lessons to people in the headquarters. The headquarters are corporativos. I used to work for different headquarters like Banamex or Nadro or Bimbo there in Santa Fe. And for example, from Nadro, that is Nacional de Drogas, I used to stay in a terrace. I used to stay in a terrace at 7 in the morning. And believe me, they had marvelous, amazing, astonishing views of the mountains around. Sometimes it was a bit cloudy, so it was amazing to be in the terrace with your coffee and very hot coffee, and there watching, observing the mountains with the clouds passing by. Yeah, everything green, and teaching your class like in this environment. It was wonderful. It was wonderful views. Bueno, hacía mucho frío, pero pues con una buena chamarrita y tu café, you could enjoy the things there. Okay, so that's my example. When you refer to the quality, you say views. When you refer to what you see, only what you see, you talk about sites. Is it clear?
Yes, teacher.
Acuérdense mucho de esta diferencia porque este views y sites aparece en, no solo aquí, sino en muchos como ejercicios que van a ver después. Les dicen, escoge views o sites. Esa es la diferencia. Si solo quiero hablar de lo que veo, es sites. Pero si tiene un adjetivo como wonderful, amazing, astonishing, excellent, etcétera, ya estoy diciendo la calidad de, y entonces es views. Okay. It's in a good location or it's in a good place. What would you say?
Location.
Location. When we talk about the position of a house, we talk about locations. Yes, the position of a house. A place is more general, but it refers to somewhere, and normally inside a building or inside a piece of furniture, for example. So you talk about a place. But when you talk about a building, you talk about location. So the neighborhood or the neighbor?
Neighbor.
Neighborhood. Neighborhood is like vecindario. Neighbor is vecino. So the neighborhood is quiet, but there are some nice cafes and shops nearby. You'd like it. You should come and visit. If it's sunny, we can sit on the upstairs or on the balcony and look at the sea.
Balcony.
On the balcony, yes. We can sit on the balcony. Este upstairs es pues escaleras arriba. Entonces casi siempre va con go. Go upstairs. Subir las escaleras. Go upstairs. O a lo mejor para decir que algo está arriba, ¿no? The flat is upstairs. Is upstairs. Está arriba. Pero aquí es sit on the balcony and look at the sea. I've got to move out of, or I've got to move out to this house on Tuesday. Bueno, to sería como para, pero aquí no vamos a ir a una casa, vamos a ir a un departamento. Entonces sería, I've got to move out of this house. Me tengo que salir de esta casa. I've got to move out of this house on Tuesday. But I can't move into my new flat, into my new place. I cannot move into. O sea, mudarme hacia allá. I cannot move into until Friday. So I'll be staying with my parents for a few days next week. Are you going to be in the area? Vocabulary about houses. Study this vocabulary. This is coming in your exam. I'm sure of it. Let me show you the following part. The following part is a reading that we are going to do in a couple of minutes. Before we do this reading, you have an activity that says, imagine you are going to stay for 3 nights in a city that you don't know. Discuss the questions. What are the advantages and disadvantages of staying in a hotel, a rented apartment, or a spare room in a local house? Esta actividad la voy a cambiar un poquito. No la voy a hacer como está aquí, porque aquí está medio aburridilla. So what is what we are going to do? I want you to speak. So now, if you haven't at this point turned on the cameras, I think it's a good idea that you do it, because you're going to watch each other. You're going to see each other. First of all, we are going to have an activity similar to what Claudia had with... Ya no está. With, yes, Julie. Claudia and Julie had. So first of all, working groups. Find out, I'm going to put it in the chat, find out who has the biggest house in your group. Find out who has the smallest house in your group. Just a condition, no se vale decir la dirección ni dónde está, porque si no luego dicen, es que me va a secuestrar y quién sabe qué. No, 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 no. You don't have to say where you are. You just have to describe your house, okay? Describe your house, but describe your house very well. I don't want you to say, in my house there is a bathroom and a bedroom and that's it. No, no, no. Describe your house. What is what you have in your house so that people can figure out who has the biggest house or flat, or who has the smallest house or flat. Okay? Then, wait a minute. You have to talk about this. What has been the best hotel you have stayed in when on holiday? Think about it. You went to a hotel, you liked the hotel. What was that hotel? Then you have to describe the hotel and its amenities. Do you understand amenities? In a building like a company, we talk about facilities. It's like what the building has. In a hotel, normally we talk about amenities, because amenities is like the rooms, the pool, the garden, the beach, the massage room. It's like the kind of, we say services and las instalaciones, pero es que amenities tiene que ver más con instalaciones para que te relajes, desde canchas de tenis, desde la playa privada, la alberca. Esos son amenities. Y en una compañía se habla de facilities. Facilities son las instalaciones, pero las que normalmente se usan para trabajar, no para relajarse como en el hotel, ¿no? In the hotel, you relax, but at work, you have to use the facilities, like a conference room, private conference rooms. Yes, probably the dining room, that is a facility inside a company. Yes, but in hotels, they are called amenities. So describe these hotel amenities. Okay. Let's begin just with this. Let's begin just with these 4 questions, and then we will switch. I am going to be changing some of you from one group to another. Right now, let me begin, or let me create these rooms. Yes, it's ready. Okay, let's begin.
Hello. Hello. Who begin? I don't know. Who wants to start? Yeah. Okay. 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 I live in a touched house. I have a, a beautiful garden in the background of my house. I have three rooms, two bedrooms. In my room, I have a balcony. What else? In the front of the house, we also have a little garden. The neighborhood is quiet, and I think that's all.
Hi. My house has 2 floors. I don't have garden, but I have a big balcony. And how do you say patio?
Garden, yo creo. Creo que sí.
Well, I have a patio with parking to 2 cars. I have four bedroom, 3 bedroom. ¿Qué más? My neighborhood is quiet, but is a bit small. The neighbor are bad. I don't like my neighbor. Are ¿cómo se dice? Problemáticos. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think the same.
Yeah.
Hotel. I'm start.
Okay.
The best hotel I has been is one in Cancun. I don't remember the name, but I like it so much because in that hotel they have food from a lot of countries. My family bought a full package of the hotel, and we can eat all the food que pudiéramos, pues, pero no me acuerdo cómo se dice. Yes, but quería decir como que pudiéramos, pero sí algo así en the buffet. And in that hotel they have 2 big pools, and the beach was near the hotel. I think I like it because of the food. And that's all. A school travel, something like that.
Okay. Okay. The best hotel I have been to is on the Rivera Maya. It was in the middle of the jungle. It was very big and had three pools, three restaurants, and there was wild animals inside it. And the wild animals were in the jaulas, bueno, como vitrinas. And the bedrooms are in middle of the jungle, and you can open the door and you can see the animals, o sea, sueltos. Yes.
I think that's it.
Ready? Have you discovered who's got the biggest house in town?
Yes.
Who's got the biggest house in town?
Mariana.
Mariana. Why? Why Mariana has the biggest house in town? So tell me, please.
No.
No,
Three.
3 bedrooms. 4 rooms. Do you have a patio, Mariana?
Yes, two parking.
2 parking spaces.
2 parking spaces and a big balcony to do parties. I don't know.
Okay, yes, I was thinking about it. Yes, I was thinking that probably you can organize a party in your house and invite us all because it is the biggest house, yes?
Yes.
So what do you think about it? Can we arrive there in your house tomorrow? Look at her face like, okay, you don't want to, I understand. I will have to invite then everyone to my house in Cuernavaca. Ya que Mariana se puso fresa, so let's organize it in my house in Cuernavaca. Okay, who's got the smallest house?
Andrea.
Why do you have the smallest house, Andrea? What is there in your house? One bathroom, a living room, and a kitchen. Okay, so it's very small. It seems that not all of us can arrive at your home. Yeah, but what about 5 of us? Okay, the ones who get the best score in these exercises will celebrate in your house. Yes, that's going to be the price. O sea, todo pagado, una visita a la casa de Andrea. Todo pagado incluye desayuno, comida, ¿no? Netflix y las palomitas. So, ¿puedo extender el premio a la gente? ¿Ya estás lista para recibirnos? Very good. I like it. Well, thank you very much for telling me about this. Sometimes we want to have like a big house, or we want to have like as I was telling you, a house in Cuernavaca or a house in the beach. I don't know your opinion about this. You have talked about going on holiday, for example. I have a friend that bought a house in Cuernavaca. It's a small house. It's nothing very big. And it's part of these houses in which they live kind of we call them detached houses. Do you know what a detached house is?
No.
Aquí les llamamos fraccionamientos. A detached house es una casa que es una casa individual, pero con el mismo estilo de construcción de las casas que están ahí en el vecindario. Entonces aquí es un fraccionamiento, porque es una casa igual que todas las demás que están ahí alrededor, pero en un fraccionamiento, mismo estilo. Una semi-detached house es lo que los americanos llaman una casa duplex, pero los británicos le dicen semi-detached. Do you know what a duplex is?
Houses that are together.
Exactly, Dana. Houses that are together. Pero es una misma casa con un estilo de construcción, pero partida a la mitad. Entonces la mitad es para una familia y la mitad es para otra familia. O la parte de abajo es para una familia y la parte de arriba es para otra familia. That's a duplex. Pero es el mismo estilo de construcción en ese vecindario. Entonces también es un fraccionamiento, pero en el fraccionamiento, en lugar de que tengas tu casa solita, pues la tienes duplex. La mitad es tuya y la mitad es del vecino. So my friend has a detached house in Cuernavaca. I have never wanted to buy a house in Cuernavaca, for example, or in other place. And you may be thinking, why, teacher? And then I can tell you, because I prefer I mean, if I want to travel a lot, I prefer to pay for these tiempos compartidos. Yes, these services. Why? Because when I arrive at a hotel or at a place where I stay, yes, it's going to be fun. It's going to have all the services, and I won't have to clean or do anything. I don't have to pay for maintenance. I don't have to pay for the internet. I don't have to pay for any of all of these things because they already have them. If I buy a house in Cuernavaca or somewhere else, I will have to pay somebody to do the maintenance. I will have to pay somebody to clean it. I will have to pay for water, for electricity, for internet, and that payment is going to be every month. And besides, when I go to my house to rest, I won't rest because I will have to arrive and clean all the house and accommodate everything that is there, prepare my own food, yes, go to the super, do the cleaning, and by the end of the weekend, you are exhausted. Y además cuando te vas tienes que pasar a recoger y limpiar, porque si no se queda todo el mugrero y la rata y todo, ¿no? So you have to clean everything. So I was thinking, what's the point? Mejor pago un tiempo compartido. Me voy a Cancún, me voy a Ixtapa, me voy a Vallarta, me voy a Los Cabos, me voy a donde yo quiera, porque el tiempo compartido te da eso. Llego, disfruto, hago lo que quiera y cuando me vaya no tengo que limpiar nada. Mientras esté ahí no tengo que hacer ni la cama porque me salgo y ya los demás lo hacen. I think it's a clever investment, but everybody's different. My friend enjoys his house in Cuernavaca with his children. I enjoy going to other parts of the country. No?
But when you are the owner of a house like in Cuernavaca, you are able to rent it.
You can get some money back. Yes, you can get some money back. But if you rent it, you are also exposed to the kind of people that go there. And for example, in this fraccionamiento, they are not allowed like kind of to rent the house every weekend. They can rent it to a fixed family because it's for families. So a fixed family that lives in Cuernavaca can rent it for half a year, for example, or for a year. But if you are talking about like this kind of
Airbnb,
like Airbnb thing, it's not possible. Y tiene sus tremendas desventajas también, ¿eh? Mi hermana tiene una casa en Cuernavaca, pero ella sí no está en fraccionamiento, es una casa en una zona más o menos. Y la renta. Pero, híjole, la gente es complicada, ¿no? Te destruye tus cosas, te rompen tus... por ejemplo, ella pues le destruyeron todos sus asientitos donde te sentabas ahí cómodamente. Le quemaron manteles con cigarro, le quemaron cosas así, le han robado vasos, le han robado, o sea, todo lo que tiene allá ahorita es como de plástico, medio bonito, pero de plástico, porque todo lo que era cristalería y todo se lo tuvo que traer porque la gente se lo roba. O sea, no es tan cool, ¿no? No es tan cool. La gente de repente, y eso que pues, les piden depósito y van y checan y que entreguen y eso, pero aún así la gente destruye cosas, ¿no? And she says, I have no option but to rent it every weekend because in that way I can pay for the maintenance. Pero pues todo lo que gana se lo chuta en mantenimiento, ¿no? Y en estar comprando cosas nuevas. So it has advantages. I don't say that because in the end it's your house, it's your property. If you have the need for money, you sell it and you receive money immediately. Yes? Or if you are lucky, for example, my sister has rented a house for half a year to a doctor that wants to go there with the family. And the doctor pays half a year. So it's a lot of money, and you don't worry about the house because now the doctor pays for all the services. So it has some advantages, but it also has some disadvantages. What I'm telling you, like this kind of disadvantages, unas cosas por otras. Y en un Airbnb, pues tú no te preocupas en un tiempo compartido para vacacionar, no te preocupas por eso. Te vas a donde quieras, ¿no? No solo Cuernavaca, te vas a donde se te pegue la gana. Which is good because you can be there, or you can be at Yucatan, or you can be at wherever you want, whenever you want. Y te sale bien barato. O sea, la paga del hotel te sale, porque sí pagas, pero pues ya pagas. O sea, si en un hotel pagas, no sé, ¿qué te gusta? 2,000 pesos un hotel por noche de los 5 estrellas, Gran Turismo. Con un tiempo compartido terminas pagando 500 pesos. Entonces, sí sale vara. Okay, let me stop these sessions because we have to do something else. I'll see you in the main room in a couple of minutes. Okay, my friends, here we are again. We were talking in the previous group, we were talking about the time when you go on holidays. We were talking about like certain advantages of disadvantages of having a house for you, for example, in Cuernavaca. Yes, when you have a house in Cuernavaca, you have to pay for maintenance, you have to do many things. But for example, Dana was telling me you can also rent it. And if you rent it, you get some money back. And of course, people will like to rent it if it is on internet. And that is what is happening here. A more personal place to stay. It's a reading. So read the instructions. So read the introduction of a more personal place to stay and choose the best summary. Airbnb is an advertising website for hotels. Airbnb is a website for travelers and people who have rooms to rent. Airbnb is a travel advice website that has reviews of hotels and restaurants. So this is the introduction. You have to complete this exercise. Then it says exercise C, would you like to stay? No. Exercise D. What the guests say. Answer the questions. Write A for Antonia or K for Kumi. Esto es algo que también tenemos que hacer. And the final exercise is exercise H. Read the texts above again and match the words in bold with the definitions. Estas definiciones con las palabritas en oscuro, ¿no? This is something we have to do. But my friends, this is something I want to assign for you to do at home. I don't want you to do this here because it's going to take some time to read all of this on on Tuesday, because I think next Monday we don't have a class. Por cierto, ¿ya vimos eso? Sí tenemos libre lunes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, according to me, it's official. But I want to check if the coordinator gave us the day officially. So it says, sí, dice que hasta el 16, o sea, hasta el martes. So on Monday, we won't see each other. Yes, that's okay. On Tuesday, I am going to check the answers for this. Yes, I am going to check the answers for this. So solve it at home. On Tuesday, we will check the answers for this. Now, there is a little bit of speaking here that is going to be linked to the following aspect that we have here. We talk about a house in the city, but do you think life in the city is better or life in the country is better? What would you say? What do you prefer, living in the city or living in the country? What do you think is better? Fatima.
In the city.
In the city.
In the city, in the city.
Yes, I prefer in the city. I'm, how do you say? Estoy acostumbrada.
I am used to.
I am used to, and so I prefer for this reason.
What advantages can you see?
Maybe the school and the communication that I have with my friends, with people that I know.
But transport, public transport in the city. Universities. Okay, I want you to discuss about this again in groups, but before we discuss, you need to have a file. Okay, so let me upload the file to the drive. Now the file is there on the drive. Please check your drive and you will see this file. Yes, in the drive, you have this file. What is better, living in the city or in a small town in the country? Okay, I want you to talk about housing, lifestyle, the activities you can do in one place or the other, health and medicine, jobs or money, education, as you said, transport, free time activities, and any other idea that you have. Use this file to guide you in your conversation, okay? Discuss these points. Do you understand housing?
No.
Yeah, no, teacher.
Vivienda. ¿Qué es más fácil, obtener vivienda en la ciudad o en el campo, que es más barato? I am going to make groups of 3 people, okay? There we go. Some of you will work in pairs, and some of you will work in groups of 3. Discuss about this. Ready? There we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, what do you think about housing? Mm-hmm. Yes, I think the same. It's more cheaper live in a small town because the food you can make your own food and work in the small town, and in the city it's more expensive about houses, rent, food, and I think it's more cheaper in a small town. What about you, Mariana?
I think is living is the best living in city, because in town is boring. In the city there are many activities to do, and I think in town is more relaxed than the city. Is to maybe to older persons. I don't know. When you are older person, you can maybe live in town.
For another lifestyle, more
Yes.
quiet?
Just more relaxed than the city.
Okay. Yes, can be. Mall?
Square, mall, square. Yes, is more boring in the town, I think.
But some people prefers live in a small town for the money or for the it's relaxing, or maybe if their family have been in a town or their life, maybe some people prefer lives there, right?
I think yes. No, you.
But I think we are used to live here, and how Valeria said, for the malls, friends, schools, it's better live here.
Yes, I think there are more possibilities to do jobs, school, education. It's quality of life.
Mhm. Yes. There are more activities. Mhm.
Traffic.
Yes, yes, it's possible. We spend a lot of time to arrive at some places, but maybe in a small town it's difficult too. But they make uh, their things for life, maybe about food, or I don't know how to explain that. Maybe the people go far once a week for all their things, and in the city we go out every day and spend a long time with the transportation, well, the transport, or do a lot of things, activities.
Yes.
Yes, I think the same. With the pollution. Yes, but we prefer city. Yes. Okay. Number 8 is free time. I think it's better in the city too. We have more things for spend time. Mhm. Yes, and maybe what kind of activities you can do in um, a town? Maybe go out for a walk.
I love the views of town, of the paisajes.
Mhm.
In this place, you have peace. You, bodas.
Yes, sometimes.
Mm.
Mm, yes, but I think it's better in the town for the, how do you say it, the pollution, and when maybe rain in a town, it's more the sky is more clean and more fresh the next day. And here in the city, it's horrible the next day when it rains. Maybe the traffic jam, the bad condition about the, I don't know how do you say, coladeras, and maybe it's more difficult. Um, I prefer totally in the city because maybe in the town don't have a lot of people that can help, and it's more difficult when the people is ay, se me olvidó la palabra, enfermo, se me fue.
Ill, sick or ill.
Yes, sick. And it's more difficult talking with a doctor, and here you can go the hospital, or maybe your family or your friends know something, someone. Mhm. Yes, and maybe in the town it's with um, for medicine with plants. Mhm.
I think if there are emergency, the persons have a more problems to distance or transport to leave the hospital or doctor.
Yes, and if there is some hospital in the town, maybe it's small, and in the city there are a lot and more bigger. Yes. What do you think, Pani? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt. About us. About this. But I think in the, I don't know, in the outside, they have more probability to survive. Maybe because they have more defense. Also, I know that they, if they have an emergency, maybe they don't have the opportunities to save. But I think that is because they are more help and they are healthier than us. I mean, they work all day, they have a healthy life, and in our case, we have a sedentary life. So we are more propense to have a desire or a problem with the health. Yeah.
How do you say it's more, well, an advantage in the living account? It's that the people live or has the habit to eat healthy or without chemicals, and I think it's good for the health.
Yeah, could be. Maybe the alternative medicine could be in some cases could be better than the medical or processed medicines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, we in the city also we have a good doctors, but I think also in the rural place.
Yes, but how Andrea said, we have more options, more opportunities living in the city, and I think we prefer, right?
Yeah, perfect. I still live in city, but because I'm so comfortable here, when I go to a small town, I feel so strange. But I'm acostumbrada to live in the city, to the noisy, to have to go in car or transport in a public transport, so walk or do the activities that they have to do. I think that is so hard to me.
It's a routine, maybe. And do you have relatives who live in a town?
Yeah, it could be more to relax a little, but not all the time.
it's a problem.
Marcus, you have a life here in the city, so if you disconnect to your friends or I don't know, the social rates are a problem.
Even when you want to call with someone, with your friends or something like that, and the connection is bad, you don't have communication only with your family. Yes, yes, and I went with my family when I was a child, and maybe it was okay because I played with my cousins or something like that. But nowadays, when maybe I go, it's more difficult for the connection. I spend time with my family, but the rest of the day, it's a little bit complicated when I'm bored and I don't know what activity to do, right? And I try to write or maybe listen to music because this is a good option.
Yeah, maybe if you spend time, I don't know, to work or help in with the dishes, with the dues to do, are more comfortable. But when you finish, when you don't have to nothing to do, I think that is like, oh please, I want to return to the.
Yes, it's difficult. So where your relatives live, Andrea? Mhm. Great. In Querétaro, some in Guanajuato, and boyfriends boyfriends, my mom, la pareja de mi mamá, has family in Veracruz. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I went there maybe 3 years ago with my grandmother and their friends.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, my friends, welcome back. You have had like such a wonderful discussion of life in the country, life in the city, which is very good. Observe the page I'm showing here is page 83 in your student's book. And we are going to have a listening quickly before we go. It says, listen to Tim and Kate's conversation. Yes. Are the statements true or false? These statements: Kate grew up in a small town. Tim wouldn't want to live in a small town. Kate thinks small towns are safer. More people have driving accidents in the city than in the country. And people who live in the country have a smaller carbon footprint. Okay, tell me if these sentences are true or false. Yes, listen to this. I'll share with you.
Track 2.44.
What are you reading? Fran just sent me the link to this list of 5 reasons why small towns are better than cities. What are you laughing at? Small towns are better than cities.
Yes, if you want to have nothing to do and never meet anyone new.
Well, I loved growing up in a small town. There's a real sense of community. People care about you. It's like you belong to one big family.
Yes, I know you liked it, but I've always been a city boy. I love being in the centre of things. There's so much going on here. Cinemas, restaurants, museums, and there are lots more work opportunities in big cities than in a small town.
But there's also more crime. Life's more dangerous here.
Actually, research has shown that it's actually safer to live in the city.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
Yes, they did a study in the US that compared the number of accidents in country and city areas. And in the country, there was a much higher number of accidents than in the city. Car crashes mainly, because people drive more in the countryside.
That makes sense if you think about it. And hospitals are nearer, I suppose, so you get help quicker.
Exactly. So it's actually safer to live in the city. And it's better for the environment.
Really? How do you work that out?
Well, you can't rely on public transport in the countryside like you can in the city, so you prove that if you live in the city, you actually have a smaller carbon footprint, especially if you live somewhere with good public transport.
I've definitely noticed that I walk more now I live in the city. Everything's closer, I guess. And it is nice not to have to get into the car just to go to a supermarket.
You see? There are a lot of advantages to living in a city. You can't argue with that.
No, I can't. There are definitely advantages, but I still miss my little hometown.
Okay, final time for you to check your answers.
Track 2.44.
What are you reading?
Fran just sent me the link to this list of 5 reasons why small towns are better than cities. What are you laughing at? Small towns are better than cities.
Yes, if you want to have nothing to do and never meet anyone new.
Well, I loved growing up in a small town. There's a real sense of community. People care about you. It's like you belong to one big family.
Yes, I know you liked it, but I've always been a city boy. I love being in the centre of things. There's so much going on here. Cinemas, restaurants, museums, and there are lots more work opportunities in big cities than in a small town.
But there's also more crime. Life's more dangerous here.
Actually, research has shown that it's actually safer to live in the city.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
Yes, they did a study in the US that compared the number of accidents in country and city areas. And in the country, there was a much higher number of accidents than in the city. Car crashes mainly, because people drive more in the countryside.
That makes sense if you think about it. And hospitals are nearer, I suppose, so you get help quicker.
Exactly. So it's actually safer to live in the city. And it's better for the environment.
Really? How do you work that out?
Well, you can't rely on public transport in the countryside like you can in the city, so you have to drive more. It's been proved that if you live in the city, you actually have a smaller carbon footprint, especially if you live somewhere with good public transport.
I've definitely noticed that I walk more now I live in the city. Everything's closer, I guess. And it is nice not to have to get into the car just to go to a supermarket.
You see? There are a lot of advantages to living in a city. You can't argue with that.
No, I can't. There are definitely advantages, but I still miss my little hometown.
Okay, so Kate grew up in a small town. True or false? That's true. Tim wouldn't want to live in a small town.
Small.
It's true because he says he doesn't want to live in a small town. He's a city boy. So Tim wouldn't want to live in a small town. Kate thinks small towns are safer. True. She thinks small towns are safer. Tim says they are not. Tim says that recent research has demonstrated that small towns are more dangerous than living in the city. Okay, more people have driving accidents in the city than in the country. This is also false. Well, this is false. A study in the US showed that there were more accidents in the country. People who live in the country have a smaller carbon footprint. False, because they have to drive everywhere. Yes, they say that they have to drive everywhere because things are not near. And in the city, people can walk to the shop, can walk to here or there, or probably take a public transport, and that reduces the carbon footprint. That's what they say. This is a listening that is the introduction for the following topic, living in the city, living in the country, yes? So we are going to stop like in this part. We are going to stop in this part. We haven't checked the homework I asked you for you to do today. That piece of homework is in the Google Drive. Probably, if you don't remember, I'll show you. Yes, the homework we had was this part, homes and buildings. Read all this information and answer this exercise from 49.1 to 49.3, all of these ones. We couldn't check them today. We will check them on Tuesday. But also, I would like to add a little bit of this. Now, we have to write the sentences in a different way, using might, probability. Let's solve all Unit 29. Okay, all Unit 29, all of these exercises. All of these exercises, please, using might. And let's solve Unit 28. All of these exercises, this time using must and can't. Possibly, that's assumptions. Todo esto es lo de los modal verbs. Acuérdense, must have y can't have es el pasado. Aquí vienen algunos ejercicios con pasado. So let's solve these two pages, 29, 28, Unit 29, Unit 28. We will check all this on Tuesday. Okay, my friends? Yes. Make your notes. Don't forget to do the homework I am asking you to do, and let me call the roll. When I call the roll and you say present, you can leave the session if you want to. Wait, give me a minute. Baeza Garcia Edwin.
I'm here, teacher.
Thank you. Dana.
Here, teacher.
Claudia.
Here, teacher.
Jessica Delgado.
Present, teacher.
Thank you. Goodbye. Fatima Galvan.
Here, teacher.
What do you prefer, Fatima or Hazel?
Los dos me gustan.
Okay, so I will call you with whatever I remember, Fatima or Hazel, whatever. Thank you very much. See you on Tuesday. Hernández Flores Carlos.
Present, teacher.
Herrera Brito. Mariana Islas.
Here, teacher.
Thank you, Mariana. Nancy Leon.
Present. Present.
Thank you. Vanessa López.
Present, teacher.
Vanessa Martínez Labrada. Paredes Estrada.
I'm here, teacher.
Peñuelas Álvarez. Tania Peralta.
Here, teacher.
Thank you. Pérez Soto.